Well, we have arrived at the first summer break episode of the series. Now today I'm going to show you a little bit of a review of last season, which was awesome, and we'll have a look at the transfer window and just see how we will prepare our squad for the step up to the Portuguese second league. Hey guys, my name is Jochen and welcome to part 10 of Iberian Sun, a football manager adventure played on Google Stadia. First of all, if you like the series so far, please leave me a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more football manager videos. As I mentioned in the intro, the first part of this episode is going to be a quick review of the things we did in our first season at Lourosa. Let's start with the end of season awards, shall we? The fans player of the season with a whopping 58%. Ministro, Cordoba in second place with 23% and Midaglia finishes off the top 3 with 12%. Goal of the season, let's have a look at that. Against Amarante, our good friend Ministro, and I'm not sure I immediately remember this goal. Oh yeah, there it goes, ba-bam. I think, to be honest, he made prettier goals than this. The signing of the season, Victor Cordoba, mainly because he was free, I think, and Ministro was already here because otherwise it would have been obvious. Young player of the season, Diogo Bianchi, he played only, I think, 20 games or something, 18, okay, because he came in late on loan, I think in February. I maybe expected Bonatti to be here, but to be honest, if we have a look at his stats, he didn't impress as much as I had hoped / expected him to do. 4 goals, 9 assists, 1 player of match, a 6.86. Maybe I'll try some tactical tweaking on his position because I really think we can get more out of Bonani. If we have a quick look at the stats, top goal scorer, maybe of course you could say Julio Alves, our lone striker, 20 goals, Zakpa in close second with 18. Highest average rating, Ministro of course with 7.40, most assist, Jorginho with 11, which is awesome. Best pass completion, Paulo Tavares, and he really didn't play that much, so at least what he did good because he's a central midfielder. Most player of match awards, Ministro, 11, that is really good, wow. Also Ministro, most yellow cards, 12, and we only had 3 red cards in the whole season. So it seems that we have broken some records here. Julio Alves' 20 goals for Lusitania Lourosa is a new team record, as is the 11 assists that Jorginho had, okay, as is Ministro's most player of match awards with 11, which is quite a lot to be honest. Also our goalkeeper Mosquera, 26 clean sheets he kept, is also a new team record. Now one more small thing I want you to see before we head into the transfer window is our annual revenue totals. They all went up, it's all green, so that just means more guacamole for me to spend in a couple of minutes. Our merchandise, we even have a non-domestic sales department. That's odd. Bonani is the top seller as far as jerseys go. Diego Raposo comes in second. Ministro, who I think it's fair to say was our star player last season, only finishes third, maybe because he's a central midfielder and that's not that appealing, I have no idea. Followed by Cordoba and then a numberless jersey for Diogo Cunha. Next up, let's have a look at our finances. As you can see, we have a more than healthy overall balance of almost £12 million. Thank you, Sugar Daddy Chairman. That also means we have an awesome scouting budget of 629,000, so I can really upgrade my scouting packages. We have a wage budget of almost £70,000 a week and a transfer budget of £7 million, which is once again, I think, really high for a club at our level. Now let's have a look at the club vision. In other words, what does the club want us to do with all that money that we are given? As far as club culture goes, this one is a new one. Sign players under the age of 23 for the first team. I don't mind that, and it's favored, it's not required, so no biggie if we sign an experienced midfielder or whatever. Now the 5-year plan, of course, work within wage budget. I mean, if your wage budget is £70,000 a week at this level, it is really hard to not take this box, to be honest. Minimum 2-year contracts for first team players, favored. Okay, we'll see about that. Now the end of current season. Second league, because that's where we are, avoid relegation. So everything better than a relegation spot is awesome news. PT, oh, we have 2 cups. Ooh. The PT Cup is the one we were in last year, and we had the same requirement to reach the 4th round, and we all know what happened there. So I'm really excited to see what we can do this year. For the other cup, the League Cup, be competitive. What does that mean? The minimum expectation is that the team attempt to be competitive in the League Cup. Just by entering, we are willing to be competitive, I would guess, but let's see where that gets us. Now, my contract expires, apparently. Grow the club's reputation and develop the best youth system in the country. What? Didn't they ever, don't they know Porto and Benfica and Rio Ave and whoever else in the Premier League? I think this is a bit of a stretch, but who am I? If we have a look at the rest of the 5-year plan, it is pretty straightforward and obvious. First, they want us to become an established second league team. Then, the season after that, record a second league top half finish. Okay. Then, win promotion to the Premier League. So, within, 4 years, they want us to get promoted to the Portuguese Premier League. Don't mind if I try. One last thing to do before we head into the transfers is have a look at 2 tournaments that were cancelled in real life because of the whole Corona thing. But of course, in FM20, there is no Corona. So, first of all, the Copa America. Let's just start at the quarterfinal. First quarterfinal, Australia beat Chile by 2-0. Paraguay lost to Peru 1-0. Uruguay got hammered by Argentina, goal from Dybala, and this guy is a really good player, by the way. If you're managing a bigger team, get this guy, I promise you, he is an awesome midfielder. And the last quarterfinal, Brazil, I thought they would come up here. Thiago Silva scored and they have kicked out Colombia 1-0. First semifinal, pretty obvious. Peru hammered Australia 4-0. 2 goals from Guerrero and 2 from this guy, who I have never heard of, but that's not really important now. Next semifinal, of course, the cracker between Brazil and Argentina. Now, 3-1, Gabriel Jesus, Marquinhos and Firmino for Brazil, and Lautaro Martinez for Argentina. This, by the way, is one of the best strikers in FM20, period. Oh, and he went to Man United in this save. I wonder what they paid. £86 million. That seems fair because he is a beast. Third place playoff, Argentina-Australia. Logical result. Martinez and Vasquez made it 2-0. And the final, Brazil took home the Copa America. Coutinho and Gabriel Barbosa from a penalty made it 2-0. And then, of course, maybe the bigger tournament, the European Football Championship 2020, hosted by 12 nations, which is still mind-blowing to me, but okay. Let's have a look at the groups. First, Group A, Italy and Switzerland went through. Okay, that seemed logical. Then Russia, France, and Denmark, because probably they scored the most. I'm not sure why, but they're through. Croatia, Belgium, and Holland in Group C are through. Slovenia, Norway, and England in Group D. Spain and Serbia in E, and Germany, Iceland, and Turkey in Group F. Let's have a look at the second round. Ooh, Italy kicked out my home nation, Belgium, with penalties. Okay, France won in extra time against Switzerland. Russia kicked out England, oh boy. Croatia beat Turkey, Norway beat Serbia, Holland kicked out Germany, which is awesome. Spain lost to Denmark, which is quite surprising if you ask me, 2-1, and Iceland sent home Slovenia. Next round, please. Then the quarterfinals, Norway sent home Holland 3-2. Of course, our good friend Erling Haaland scored. Russia lost against Italy once again in extra time. Croatia kicked out France, wow, 2-1. Revenge for the World Cup final, I would say. Denmark lost to Iceland, also in extra time, 0-2. the semi-final, and I think basically we have the final that we would have expected when we had a look at the quarterfinals. Norway lost 2-0 against Italy, and Croatia beat Iceland 1-0. So let's have a look at who has been crowned European Champion 2020 in the Coronaless virtual world. Bam! Italy have beaten Croatia 3-1 in extra time. If we have a look at the match stats, a lot of shots going on, a lot of fouls, and only one yellow card. Ooh, and a red card in the 104th minute. I think that was maybe the death sting for Croatia. Matteo Politano, is that the Inter guy? Not sure. Yeah, now he is at Napoli, okay. He scored twice. Federico Chiesa, there he is. If you have watched the Monday Blues series, you know how good he is. There he went to, let me think, Man City. He is really good. He is at Fiorentina, one of the best, I think, right wingers in FM20. Ante Rebic scored once for Croatia, but the damage was done. 3-1, Italy is the European champion 2020. And finally, we of course have the golden boot of the tournament, Nicolo Barella, once again player of the tournament and golden boot. 7 appearances, 4 goals, 1 assist. Isco from Spain and Haaland from Norway also have 4 goals. And finally, to wrap up this episode, probably the part you've all been waiting for, I know, the transfers that I did during the summer transfer window. Now mainly I needed some central defenders because everyone who was here last year was either here on loan or was old and their contracts ran out during the summer and I didn't renew them. So let's first have a look at the new guys at the central defender position that I brought in. First up, this guy, Tiago Lima Pereira, a 26-year-old Portuguese guy, comes in from Covo de Piedade. Jesus Christ. He is a 3-star current ability, a 3.5-star potential ability player. He's not going to be a starter because that's why I gave him the squad player status. He is mainly a backup for guys that you will be seeing in a moment. Like this guy, for example, and he might seem familiar because he was here on loan last year all season. Comes in from Lazio for £400,000, Jorge Silva. He was, I think you can say that he was our star defender last year. He is a 3.5-star current ability player with a possible 4.5-star potential. He can play as a ball-playing defender, which I always use as one of my defenders. So I am very glad that Jorge Silva has decided to join us on a permanent base. The next guy, Oscar Mingueza, is probably the star signing of the summer. He comes in from the mighty Barcelona for £2.5 million, which is, I still think, an insane amount of money to pay in these lower leagues. Now, he is a 4-star current ability, a possible 5-star potential ability player, 21 years old, so he's still young. He's Spanish, of course. He can play as a ball-playing defender and a central defender, so I can play him in both central positions in the defense. Next up, we are still at the center of defense, trust me. Ignacio Artola, 22 years old, Argentinian guy, 3-star current ability, 4.5-star potential ability, comes in from Aldo Civi in Argentina. I know that he is not as good as Jorge Silva or the Barcelona guy, but that is why I also decided to put him out on loan because, as you will see in a couple of seconds, he's not the last central defender that I signed. So I'm pretty much overstocked at that position. So that is why I've decided to put him out on loan. Another guy I brought in as a central defender, he will be one of the backups. 3-star current ability, possible 5-star potential ability. João Pinto, 20 years old, Portuguese guy, comes in from Firenze. He will stay at the club, so I'm not going to loan him out. Like I said, he will act as a backup defender. Now, as if all those guys weren't enough, I also brought in on loan from Braga, David Carmo. He is a giant of a defender, 6'5", can play as a central defender and a ball-playing defender. 21 years old, Portuguese guy, 4-star current ability, potential ability of 5 stars. I think it will go between him, Jorge Silva and Mingueza for the first team starter duties in that position. And now let's have a look at all the guys that I brought in who are not playing in the center of defense. Some of those will be backups and some of those will of course be starting players. First up, Ivan Nilsson, 21 years old, Portuguese guy. He will be one of our backup left wing backs. He has a 2-star current ability, possible 4-star potential ability, comes in for free from Aves. Next up, a midfielder I brought in, a Senegalese 26-year-old guy, Latir Fall, love the name. He's a ball-winning midfielder, a central midfielder, and also can play as a carrilero, which I like to use. He is the 3-star current ability guy with a potential ability of 3.5 stars. Then we have Jorge Silva. He comes in from Rio Ave, was a loan at Aroca. Boo! He is a 23-year-old Brazilian guy and I think will function as a backup for Bonani on our left wing. He is a 2.5-star current ability, 4-star potential ability player. Another guy that I brought in to function as a backup player is this guy, Admilson Santos. He is a Bissau Guinean 20-year-old guy. He plays as an advanced playmaker or an attacking midfielder in the number 10 position. 2.5-star current ability, 3.5-star potential ability. We already saw a backup on the left wing back that I brought in. This guy, Miguel Silva, 24 years old, Portuguese guy, will function on the other side of the pitch in the same role and a backup at the right wing back. 2-star current ability, 2.5-star potential ability. I'm not expecting him to play a lot of games, but it's just good to have some backup should we have to deal with some injuries. And then we have this guy, Daniel Borges. He is one of the guys I'm very excited about since he is only 16 and already has a 2-star current ability and a possible 5-star potential ability rating. He's a ball-winning midfielder, can also play as a carrilero. And I mean, I'm not sure what to do with him. I have put him now in my under-19 squad, but there is a possibility. I will try to use him, for example, in cup games or whatever, just to get him to his potential ability as soon as possible, because I am quite intrigued by the fact that he's only 16 and he already has a 2-star current ability. And then we have arrived at, along with Mingueza, I think the star signing of the summer, Mauricio Tevez. He is a 23-year-old Argentinian guy. Right winger, can also play as a striker, but not really in the roles and duties that I would like him to play. So we'll probably divide duties with Zakpa on the right wing as our starter. He's a 4-star current ability, 4.5-star potential ability, and he comes in. He used to play at Newell's in Argentina, but last year he was at AD Oliveirense, who were in the same tier as we were. So I'm expecting a lot from this guy. And finally, we have the last signing so far, because it's only the 26th of July. An extra striker that I brought in, 25-year-old Ivorian guy, Frank Correa. As you can see, he is a target man, which I normally don't use, but I can think of some scenarios to put this guy on the pitch, because he has a heading of 14, jumping reach of 16, and if you have a look at his height and combine that with those stats, I mean, this is just a force in the air to be reckoned with. And I'm not sure, Julio Alves is also at this moment at 3-star current ability. I know he scored a lot of goals for us last year, but I'm just not sure if he is totally ready for the step up to the second league. So this guy and Julio Alves and maybe even Zakpa will divide the duties as our starting striker. One last thing to do in this episode is have a quick look at our squad depth screen. And I know that Bonani was last year our top player who had 5-star current ability. Now he has only 3 stars, but still has a 4.5-star potential ability. So I am going to play him as our main left winger, just to get him up to that potential ability as soon as possible. Now in midfield we are quite okay, but as you can see, Diego Raposo is the one guy who can really play at the attacking midfielder position, which I always use. And he is also our best central midfielder. So I might bring in a new guy to replace him at the number 10 position, possibly as a shadow striker, because that is one of the scenarios I'm working out. And then move him along with Ministro to the center of the midfield, with Cordoba and Fall as their backup. Then if we have a look at the defense, of course we are more than golden in the center of defense. Look at the stars, my god. The wingbacks, you might argue, we have on both sides a very good wingback, Jorginho on the left and Medaglia on the right. But apart from them, I mean, the Barcelona guy, Mingueza, is a proper backup star rating wise, but he is on paper a central defender. So I'm not sure about playing him as a wingback. Ivan Nilsson and Vitinha are the backups, and they have both the same stats. They have a 2-star current ability and a 4-star potential ability. I'm not saying I don't have faith in them as a backup, but I can understand that some people would say you might need some more depth here. So I'm still looking into that. The last thing I am also looking into is to probably have a new goalkeeper before the season starts. I know Mosquera was awesome last year, like Julio Alves was, but the same story as Alves. I don't think he is ready. I'm not sure he is ready for the big step up to the second league. So I might bring in a new goalkeeper. Guedes is an awesome backup because he has a 4-star potential ability. So I might keep him, but I think as far as Mosquera goes, I don't know. I can't promise you anything. I'll see what I can do. But of course, the main thing I want you to take away from this episode is that I think we are quite ready for the second league. That being said, let's have a look where the media at this point predicts us. 11th place, so just above Aroca. I think that's quite where I would expect us to be. I wasn't expecting us to be right up here immediately. I think the next season is going to be like a transition season, and we will just see how it goes starting next episode. So guys, that was it for the summer break episode. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I did. If you have, please leave me a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more Football Manager content. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you very soon.